Hey, what's up, you guys? This is Symbio with T3 Gaming, and I'm here for another Star Wars Destiny game. This was played after the new rules reference guide was released by FFG, which changed a lot of top-tier meta decks and changed some of the rules, which balanced the game, I think, for the better. We played a tournament with about 11 people showing up in our local group in Chico, California, and usually we have about 4 to 8, so tournaments actually once in a while get about 10, but I think it was definitely a boon for the game. I know other players around the country and around the world had some increase after the new rules were out. I've seen a lot more diverse decks out in the field. I think this is great. I'm on the right playing Sabine Ezra, which is the hero yellow deck, running it with the moisture farm to get some more resources since it's a pretty fast deck. It's definitely one of the strongest decks in this format right now, I think, and you know, I think you definitely have to know how to play this deck. I've seen it played a couple different ways, and hopefully the way I play it, I can show you guys what it can do. On the left, we have Matt Davis. He is playing the Vader Magna deck, another very, very strong deck right now. Being able to keep Magna on the field and best defense him, have him take more damage before he's even defeated for that round is really great for Vader. We know Vader is very strong. I think he's playing Imperial Armory, maybe? Or maybe he's playing... I can't see the battlefield that he's playing, so apologize for that. It might be Imperial Armory, or is it the Alpha thing, whatever. Anyway, sorry. We're rolling for initiative. The cool thing about Sabine Ezra is that it definitely has a good chance of getting initiative. It has 3, 3, 2, and a 1 side on her die, and then a +2 on Ezra's. So I go ahead and win the initiative. Nope. We're re-rolling. Getting a lot of 5s and 4s. There we go. I get a 5, and he gets a 4. So I'm going to pick his battlefield because I want shields for this deck because it can die fairly quickly. If I don't get a second chance and they burst down Sabine fast, then it's pretty much game over. So he goes ahead and plays the Electro Staff on the Magna, which reduces the cost of any die that modifies it, or the character that's attached to modifies it, reduces the cost by 1. Or it makes it free. I'll have to double check that. So I roll in Ezra with the special and +2, which is great. He does have 1 resource that I could steal from him. He shouldn't have a resource, actually, because that's a 2-cost upgrade. He rolls out with the Magna gets some damage, a melee and a melee. So at this point, I need to discard the holdout so I can get it onto her for her free action cheating. So I do that to re-roll Ezra's dice because he has no money anyway. I get some range damage. It's already showing 3 ranged on Ezra, which is why he's such a good pairing with Sabine. He rolls out the evil villainous Vader, gets some major damage, 3 melee and a 2 melee, and makes me discard my Defiance. I go ahead and use that Loth Cat and Mouse. It's a yellow card. Forces him to remove 1 of my die, and then I can remove 1 of his. Great free cost removal. I go ahead and get rid of that 3. So I'm trading 2 for 3, but he has a lot more health than I do, so I really need to do what mitigation I can. He rolled great that round, all damage. And normally, Sabine Ezra, it plays a little bit of mitigation, electroshock, negotiate, sometimes sound the alarm, Loth Cat and Mouse. Those are pretty much the types of mitigation, but usually you have to have some dice in the pool, and it doesn't do well against a lot of dice, like a lot of the range decks out there that have like +2, +2, +2. It's not going to do that well. Looks like he's going to pass. I'm going to activate Sabine, and before I activate, I'm going to play the Holdout Blaster from my discard pile, giving me an ambush after I activate so that I can resolve her dice for free. So I roll out, I get a 2 ranged, a 3 disrupt for a cost, and a shield, which is not great. And I do 3. I go ahead and do the 3 damage range to Vader, putting him at 3, so I could try to burst him down as quickly as possible. Thing about Sabine Ezra, of course, is if you don't roll very well, well, let me put it this way. If you roll really well, you can do a lot of unmitigatable damage. And that night I did not roll that great, but it still does pretty well because there are other tricks you can do. He's going to re-roll the Magna Guard, gets a blank and a 2 for a cost. I don't know why he was rolling. I think he was looking for the +3, hoping for some more damage. But I feel like he probably should have just taken the 3 because that's not bad damage. But, you know, I'm definitely one to get greedy for damage. You know, especially against aggro decks, you want to try to get them off the table as soon as possible. I have an electroshock in my hand, but no money. So I'm deciding if I want to discard to re-roll those things. I go and take a shield because I figure that's going to mitigate. Oh, so he doesn't have to pay the cost. Oh, yeah, he does have to pay the cost. So he goes in and resolves his 4 damage against Ezra. I remember I go and re-roll. I get the 3 range, so doing 6 to Vader, which was awesome for me. He's done 4. I've done 6. He goes after Ezra. The battlefield is actually the one that allows you to resolve up to 3 ranged or melee sides. So that was what he did. He claimed and resolved. I forgot the name of it. Scarif? Is it something on Scarif? So a lot of people go for Ezra, and actually originally I thought that was not a good idea, but the games that were closest, I think most of them went for Ezra. He goes in and drops a Vibra Knife. I discard a Running Interference, which I didn't really want to do, but I have other cards in there. He rolls out, gets a 1 melee on the Vibro, a 1 shield. So the Vibro Knife change was huge. You know, that makes it so that we don't die. Shields are still a thing. It makes a big difference having shields now, I noticed, all night. Shields, taking 1 shield mattered. Oh, I have 2 Running Interference in my hand. So at this point, I have a DL44, and I want to be able to get that out to remove one of his dice. But I want to roll Ezra first, because I want to be able to either steal resources or get his guns on the board, so I can resolve more damage. You always kind of want to roll at Ezra first with Sabine Ezra. He rolls a 1 melee and activating Magna Guard and a 1 disrupt. I don't like that disrupt because it's gonna hurt my ability to be able to get that 44 out there. So at this point, I'm trying to figure out what to do. I need to get that 44 into the discard pile so I can activate her in 1 action and get the ambush. I don't have a smuggling, and that's the best way to do that. Is you get a smuggling, especially if you have Infamous out, you know, you want to play the Infamous, do smuggling, and then get the resource by discarding your weapon into your discard pile and then playing it onto her as she activates. And I think I've seen, you know, I watched a couple online games of people playing Sabine Ezra and noticed, I think that, you know, people are practicing it, not really maybe understanding how it works. You really want to play from the discard pile. You don't want to play on her because that's not going to get you that action cheat. You need to play from the discard pile. So now that you can actually discard a card at any time, it really helps to get those cards into the discard pile. And the 44 is great because if you play it from the discard, you still have to force them to remove a die. Sorry, it's taking a little while. I'm answering some rules questions in the tournament. So I have a Running Interference. I think it looks like I have a Truce, which is an amazing card because it has ambush and gives both characters both players a resource. So it gives me that 3 that I need. I'm deciding now what to do. I don't have a smuggling. I've got a Running Interference and an electroshock, and I'm not worried about the shield from Vader. He could do Force Strike, which is always a problem. You know, maybe I'm gonna electroshock it now, which might be a smart play, but I'm then spending a resource. But if so I did truce him. What I should have done is stolen his resource. So Matt now is going to play Tactical Mastery. See, I should have stolen the resource. Tactical Mastery is so good. It allows him to take 2 actions. He's going to discard Feel Your Anger to re-roll. He's looking for some damage here. And he has a good chance of it, but doesn't roll any damage. So he rolls a shield and 2 resources, a resource on Vader. Now he doesn't have bait and switch in this deck because it's a red. let's see. He gets another action, and he goes ahead and does the 1 damage to Ezra. So putting in Ezra at 5, Ezra can die really quick, and I think that's why people like to kill him. Take those 2 dice off the table, which can be 4 damage. I mean, Ezra's really good in this deck. People think, oh, why play Ezra? Well, I go ahead and play the Holdout Blaster from my discard. So I don't get the dice removal with the 44, but that's okay. And, you know, you want to get the Holdout Blaster's honor when she's going to die. So I go and roll her out, and I get a 2 for 1 cost, which I don't have money for. So you can see when you don't roll very well. I think I don't know what I did. I should have taken another action, but either I passed or chose not to. He discards Enraged to reroll. Does get a +3 on the Electro Staff and a 2 for a cost, which he doesn't have to pay for. So there's nothing I can do about that. I'm just going to go for more damage here on the roll. I go and leave the money out just so I can do 2, because the Holdout Blaster is pretty unreliable sometimes. And I'm looking for some bigger damage off Sabine. I get a 2, it looks like, and a Disrupt and a Shield. So that's 5 damage, you know, overall from Sabine and Ezra. He has 4. He's going to kill Ezra. Oh, he's going to take a shield. So that gives me a chance to resolve my range damage. He has no money, so the Disrupt is useless. So I go ahead and do 3 to Vader. So I'm already putting Vader at 9, which is great. I'm not worried about an 8, because he had a shield. He goes and kills Ezra Bridger. So now it's just a Sabine with 3 shields. Vader is at 8. So I need 5 more damage to take him out. And Magna Guard has nothing. I discard Running Interference to reroll, which is probably not a good idea. I should have gotten the Running Interference out there. I take 2 resources and then go ahead and do 2 for 1 cost, putting Vader at 10. So sometimes it's good to just burst that damage, especially on a character like Vader, because he's going to discard your cards anyway. And I was action cheating enough. I didn't really need the mitigation from Running Interference, but in later games, Running Interference is huge. Being able to lock out an opponent from playing a mitigation card or resolving damage to kill one of your characters. So he claimed to do that to melee at the end there, and he's going to activate Vader here. He needs to get some damage on Vader, and it looks like he does. He gets the 3, I think it's a 3, 2, and a 1 resource on the Vibro. He hasn't hit the damage on the Vibro. I'm looking at my discard. I've got the DL44, so I can force him to remove. Yep, so I'm going to play the DL44 from my discard that I discarded the prior turn to make him remove a die. He removes the Vibro Knife, which is smart. I've got 5, 6 damage coming to me, but I'm going to try to take Vader out right here. And I roll a bunch of trash. 3, 2, 3. That 3 Disrupt on Sabine came up for me all night. And sometimes it's useful, but most of the time you're looking for damage and it sucks. So 2, 3 disrupts a resource and a resource. Pretty terrible. But he's only going to be able to do... I have one more action here. I've got a Lothcat. Yeah, Lothcat, man. So I could Electroshock the 2, but I'm going to play the Lothcat and get rid of one of my dice. He's going to probably get rid of a Sabine die, right? Yep, get rid of a Sabine die, and I get rid of the 3 on Vader. So that way he's not doing damage past my shields now unless he rolls out that. Oh, and he plays the Isolation, getting rid of both Sabine dice, which really hurts. Hurts my ability to do any damage this round. I mean, I just need 2 more damage, right? 9, 10. Yep, 2 more damage to take Vader off the table. He needs a lot of damage to get through Sabine at this point. And this deck does play a Second Chance, which I haven't seen yet. I go ahead and gain a resource. I think, what am I thinking? I've got a Defiance, which is a really cool card. And great to play in this deck because she has a 2, 3, and a 3 side. And because she's low on health and easy to kill, it's nice to have some healing. He's got 3 cards. What else? What does Matt have in his hand? I couldn't see. I go and Electroshock the Electro Staff because I'm scared of the +3 that he could do. Because right now he's only going through shields. So I'm thinking I gotta preserve. I'm not gonna do a whole lot of damage with that holdout blaster, so it's better to spend my money and mitigate damage rather than try to eke out more damage off that. I could have tried for the 2 and 1, but it wasn't worth it. He goes and resolves 4 damage on me, so I do take 1. I think he claimed to do that. So... Sorry, I had 3 more damage on him. I go ahead and gain a shield. It's like it's not worth it to discard a reroll now. I'm thinking if I take more damage, I can do the Defiance and potentially heal up. I don't know if I don't think I have anything in the discard pile. So at this point, I'm not going to be able to do the right. I think I'm going to, yeah, smart move, discard that. I'm looking for the second chance at this point. So I need something to extend my life, and I don't get a second chance. I get double never tell me the odds here. A Smuggling, an Infamous, a Defiance. Couldn't quickly see what he had in his hand. Vader is going to activate and force me to discard. I discard Infamous, which is only good earlier in the game, in my opinion. He rolls out that 3 melee again on Vader, and then a resource and a resource on Vader with the Vibro Knife. So Matt is rolling Vader's 3 quite a bit, which is pretty scary. At this point, what to do? I need to get that 3 off the table. I don't think I have any mitigation. Nope, I do not. So all I've got is the DL44. That's my option. I'm going to have to write it over, waste my right for that turn, because you can only overwrite once now. So I'm going to... Oh, I did not roll in my Heavy Blaster last turn. That was a bad misplay. So you guys probably saw that. I didn't even notice that this time. He removes his Vibro Knife again. What's funny is I played it, he removed it, but I never rolled it in. Which could have been a game changer, because I could have rolled that 3. Oh, I roll massive damage this time. A 3 and a 3. So I just do 3 to Vader, taking him off the board, and then 3 to Magna. So fairly quickly you can see if Sabine gets her damage unmitigated, she can do a lot. I mean, I rolled pretty poorly the last 2 turns, but did enough mitigation to survive. He's going to drop the Vibro Knife on the Magna, giving him ambush, roll out Magna, which he can do a lot of damage too. He can do like 3, 4, 5. He rolls a 2 melee. A +2 on the Vibro Knife, so that's all unblockable, and a +2 on the Electro Staff. So he has 6 unblockable damage coming to me. I don't have any mitigation. I used the 44, so there's nothing I can do about that. Because it's modified by the Electro Staff, the character dice he doesn't have to pay for. And he can resolve it all claiming at the same time, which is pretty cool battlefield to play for this. So there's no point in me taking a shield because it's not going to make any difference. Disrupting him, really, not going to make any difference. My best play right now is probably just to get enough damage out if I can. I do have a Never Tell Me the Odds, and that card is bonkers in this deck. I'm going to play Smuggling, which allows me to discard a card to gain a resource. And I'm going to discard Never Tell Me the Odds, because I have 2, giving me 3 resources. He will claim and do 6. I think he's claiming. Maybe he's not claiming, because he may have some mitigation. Looks like he's got Best Defense in his hand. Does he have Best Defense? Yeah, looks like it. That's such a good card. He's got another Electro Staff. Oh, yeah. Matt forgot to take the 2 damage, because he didn't have a shield. So he was saying he was so distraught of losing Vader. So yeah, no problem. Everybody we play with is super cool and laid back. None of us, if you ever see us make mistakes, really it's not cheating. Please don't call us cheaters, because everybody's very cool, honest players. We're not out to just win the game. And so we apologize if there are some misplays. We do our best to. But it's just a game, We love competitive as well as casual. So at this point, I'm deciding I need to try to get some damage. I can play the Never Tell Me the Odds, but I'm scared he has mitigation. He does have 1 resource, which means he could play Best Defense. Or he could play isolation. Yeah, he could isolate. I roll a shield on Sabine. I get a +2 and a 1 on the holdout, so that's 3 damage. Now he can choose. It's 3 damage, so it looks like he's got an endless ranks, which will just basically guardian a damage. It's not really that useful. Oh, it is, because it takes away my base damage. So endless ranks, 0 cost card from Awakenings, I'm pretty sure. And basically it resolves one of those dice and removes it from the board. It deals damage equal to the value of the dice. So it puts him at 3. I've got a +2 that's useless and a shield on Sabine. I love having Sabine's shield size because now that shields are useful, you know, I'll take those shields if I, you know. Yeah, I gain the shield because I got 2, you know, mitigating 2 of his potentially 6 or 7 damage is pretty good versus trying to just re-roll out for 1 or 2 on the holdout blasters. Normally, I'm not a huge fan of the holdout blasters. I mean, they're good for redeploy, but I'd rather have the Night Sniper or the 44 because they do way more damage and they're more consistent. Although the 44 does have 2 blanks. So he's going to get to go first. Looks like he's got a Force Illusion, which is going to make killing him very difficult. He's got 3 resources. I've got 3 resources. I've got 5 damage on Sabine. And he's got 3 damage on Magna, who has an 8 health, I think. Yeah, so. And no second chance inside. Oh, looks like I did get a second chance in my hand. So I can't overwrite that to extend my life. He's going to play the Force Illusion. Smart move on Magna. It's going to keep him alive that round. I didn't get my resources from the last turn, so I go ahead and get that. I hope so. Hope I didn't just grab 2. I'm pretty sure because I overwrote and I didn't pay for a lot, I had resources. So here's where I am playing an Infamous because... Why? Because I need to action. I want to be able to get some ambush out so he can't mitigate my dice. He's going to activate the Magna coming out with a Vibro Knife. Rolls a bunch of trash, a shield on the Magna a resource, and a disrupt. So pretty bad rolls. So I'm going to activate. So here's the deal is that the new rules say you can only overwrite once per round. So I'm deciding if I want to overwrite, and I go ahead and go for it because he's got to remove one of his dice. I don't know if he does this, but I want that ambush. I get 3, 4 damage. Yep, and a resource on the holdout. I go and do 4. Oh wait, I have to choose. So I can do. It doesn't matter. He's gonna Force Illusion to 3, but you have to separate your dice so that you do it each at a time, even though you're resolving them at once. So because they're not modifiers. So he's gonna discard 3, and then take 1, putting him at 4. I don't have another overwrite this turn, so if he kills me, I can't get the second chance out. Well, actually, I could discard a card and play it for 3, but I can't overwrite. So he rolls out, gets a 2 on the Magna. Yeah, a +1 and a 1. I play my Never Tell Me the Odds at this point, giving it ambush, paying 3. This is the combo. If you have an Infamous out, and you have a Never Tell Me the Odds, you can play it, give it ambush, turn all your dice to damage, and do the damage without mitigation. So I did some burst damage. Now, okay, you guys, so this is not supposed to happen this way. Magna is supposed to stay in the pool, right? So we realize that, and we do rewind a little bit, and, you know, casual game, we kind of try to put our cards back to the way they were because he was showing 2 damage. But I did have a second chance, but I didn't have the money to play it. So, you know, all he could do is do maybe 2 more damage. If he had, you know, if he re-rolls, he maybe could do 3, which would not kill me because I have the shields. So let's see. I don't know if you guys want to watch this, but we basically decide to go back and play it out anyway, just to see. I thought it would be fair to him to let, because he forgot about it. And normally, you know, if you're in a big tournament or whatever, if you end the game, everybody puts their cards away, and you forget about it, then, you know, there's nothing you can do. But I had 3, 3, 2, so obviously I did like heavy damage. Guy's throwing money on the table from his gambling. No. Trying to figure out how to reconstruct our hand. Yep, he had a Vibro, Electro Staff out, and a Force Illusion was already in his discard pile. The part that's hard is knowing what cards were in your hand, so you guys can stop watching now, but I'm just going to let this play out to see what we do here. But yeah, I mean, that's actually, I don't play Magna Guard, so I mean, obviously if you play Magna Guard, that's a huge benefit to playing him, is that, like, I think the way the ruling works is that if you defeat, like, if Magna Guard defeats me, if he can defeat me on this round and I die, then he wins the game because I'm actually defeated and he is not. He doesn't defeat until the upkeep phase, so... Yeah, so he's got like hella damage on him. 3, 3, 6, 7, 8 damage. Plus I think he had 4, 5. So it doesn't matter. He dies. I'm trying to reconstruct my hand, which was hard to do. I know you guys, this is probably really silly and ridiculous. You guys are probably thinking this is silly, but we wanted to do it anyway to try to see what he could do. I did have a second chance in my hand. Yep, I did have a second chance in my hand. Yeah, and I think I had a Defiance in my hand too, but I didn't have any mitigation, I don't think. So I think that's what it was. I had a Defiance in my hand, so yeah. So I only just take the 2. He's going to discard Best Defense because he had no money. He's going for the Mega Reroll, and he doesn't get it. Right? 2 for a cost, which he can't modify because it's not being modified. He can't use the Electro Staff's power. I have no money. I've got a second chance. I can't overwrite. So there's not a whole lot I could do. Right? I got the 2 shields. I mean, if he has a 2... Let's see. Does the Magna Guard have a 2 for no cost? I don't think it does. Oh, he needs the modifier. He needs a +3, a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He needs 7. He needs unblockable damage, basically. And I've got 7. So he needs 5 unblockable damage or 7 blockable damage. So here we go. Let's see what happens. He's going to discard to re-roll for that modifier. He could have re-rolled the Electro Staff, and he gets a blank, I think. And I'm like, I can't look. He's gonna re-roll. He's gonna re-roll. And he gets a blank again, so didn't happen. Alright, you guys, hope you enjoyed that. It was pretty close. You know, if I had played it more safe, I probably could have not overridden the DL44. I was able to burst down Vader pretty quickly. You know, Vader Magna Guard is still a very strong deck. I think he probably could have played a little more upgrades. I don't know if you play Holocron in this deck or not. But a Best Defense, I guess he had no chance to, like, a lot of times when I did hit him for damage, you know, it was some version of an action sheet. So that's why Sabine is so strong. She's probably the fastest in the game right now. So, but, you know, I rolled, you know, not immensely good. I didn't like God roll every turn, so that never tell the odds makes it so that she's really good. So all right, you guys, see you next time. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please give us a like, and if you don't subscribe already to the channel, we're doing a Destiny a lot, trying to get as many decks out there as we can, and you know, let us know what you think in the comments section. All right, we'll see you next time.